Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee with Net 226. Today I'm going to be going over Packet Tracer 5.5.1, which is IP version 4 ACL implementation challenge. Now this thing is a little tricky. Alright, I'm just letting you know that right now. Now if I open up Excel though, first thing I want to do is go ahead and I know I might have to be setting up some wildcard masks and subnet masks. So if we look in here, all right, everything is going to be at least a CIDR of 24 or smaller, which smaller subnet that is. So the numbers are all going to be higher than 24 or higher. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do it. Whoops, I always want to do that. Let's do \24. Click here, drag. Click here, drag. Alright, all the way up to 32 is fine. Alright, so everything's going to be 255.255.255. Something. Alright. So \24 is going to be 0, which is actually 256, and half of that's 128. 128 plus half of 128, 192, half of that, 224, 240, 248, 252, 254, and 255. Alright, so when we're doing our wildcard masks, let me insert this. Alright, so this is IP, this is our CIDR, this is our subnet, and this is our, let's just make that the mask, and wildcard. Alright, so everything, wildcard equals 255 minus the mask. Alright, and I'm not going to automate that because you just need to think about it and be able to figure it out. Alright, so 255 minus the mask is going to be 0. So 255 minus 255 is 0. This is going to be a 1. And 254, or 255 minus 252 is 3. Alright. 255 minus 248 is 7. And say if you wanted to automate this, you would do equals 255 minus this, and back parentheses, alright, 15. Let's see if we can drag it that way. Alright, so that actually shows you. Now what you can do though, remember 0 is our first number when talking about binary. So we have 2 addresses here, 4 addresses here, 8 addresses here, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. Alright, so all those are the inverse of the mask. Alright, so those look right. I know that doesn't, when you first look at that, the wildcard mask, it looks like it's strange because it's all odd numbers, but yep, it is right. Actually, all odd numbers except for 0. Alright, so we know that. Now let's go back here, check out our topology. Now if you look over here, new company HQ network, the whole network is a CIDR 24, 192.168.1.0, and then they've split some of these up. Like this is the 1.0/26 network right there, and then down here 192.168.1.64 network is \29. So if you look down here, \26, all right, and then /29 is right here. All right, you have an internet user, which is out there with an internet IP address. You have a external web server with a URL and a website, or a internet IP address, and then you have a branch, two branch offices with a router, branch router connecting those two LANs together, and those LANs have 192.168.2.0 network, which is a CIDR 27, and then this one, actually let's see if that makes sense. 2.0 is our network address, /27, so it'd be a 255.255.255.224. So you have 32 addresses total. Okay, and looking at the wildcard mask, kind of weird to look at, but that means you'd have 32 addresses. So, and 0 is our first number, so 32 would be the start of the second subnet. And if you look right there, 2.32 is the start of the second subnet. All right, and they made this one a little bit smaller, which is at 28, so it has 16 addresses, 32 addresses for the 2.0 /27. All right, just kind of like get used to looking at that. I know it's hard to pick up at first, but subnetting is something you just have to practice over and over again. All right, so that's going to go away. All right, looking at our addressing table, nothing really out of the ordinary. Just notice pretty much there's no /24s except for the internet user and the external web server. All right. And you see these are serial connections, router-to-router connections. They are all serials, and they're all 30 /30s, but that makes sense. Since you have two usable addresses, a network address and a broadcast address. All right, so you can configure a router with standard named ACLs. Remember the S in standard, so that's source only. It's the only thing you can reference when you're doing your access lists. All right, configure a router with an extended named ACL. Configure a router with extended ACL to meet specific communication requirements. Configure an ACL to control access to network device terminal lines. So those are VTY lines. Configure the appropriate router interface with ACLs in the appropriate direction. And remember, when we set up our ACLs, we want to make those as close to the source as possible. All right, and verify operation of the configured ACLs. So in this activity, you will configure extended, standard name, and extended name ACLs to meet specific communication requirements. All right, step 1, verify connectivity in the new company network. First, test connectivity on the network as it is before configuring the ACLs. All hosts should be able to ping all other hosts. So I'll let you guys do that. I don't want to make this video too long because there's going to be a lot of configurations we have to do in here. So go ahead and make sure that's right. All right. So step 2, configure standard and extended ACLs per requirements. Configure ACLs to meet the following requirements. Do not use explicit deny any statements at the end of your ACLs. Use shorthand, host, or any whenever possible. Write your ACL statements to address the requirement in the order that they are specified here. Yeah, if you get them out of order, they're not going to work in real life, but also it's not going to grade it correctly. So you have to remove the, if you put an ACLs in out of order, you need to delete those out with a no access list, which is going to make it a little bit more complicated to do. It's almost easier to record your configs and then just redo it, the whole router. All right, and place your ACLs in the most efficient location and direction. All right, ACL 1 requirements. Create ACL 101. Now the thing about this too, this doesn't tell you, okay, create an ACL on a certain router. All right, so they don't tell you that. All right, so ACL1 requirements is create an ACL 101 expressly block FTP access to the enterprise web server. And notice there's an enterprise web server and there's an external web server. Don't get those confused. They're talking about the enterprise web server. All right, so explicitly block FTP access from the to the enterprise web server from the internet. The internet's right here, so you're going to block people will be in a FTP from outside and then into your web server. All right. So more than likely, you want to block as close to this user and the internet as possible. All right. And then also no ICMP traffic from the internet should be allowed to any hosts on HQ LAN 1, which HQ LAN 1 is, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. All right, now you can see HQ LAN 1. So you can block all requests coming from the internet for ICMPs to this network. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to do this on HQ. All right. And first thing we're going to do is declare or configure our ACLs, and then we're going to assign those to a certain interface. All right. So let's do enable configure config terminal. All right. And this is not a named ACL, it's just a extended ACL because it's a 101. Access list 101. And we want to deny TCP any host coming from the internet to our enterprise web server, which is 192.168.1.70. 168.1.70 with FTP. Now if you put equals the EQ and you do a question mark, there's FTP right there. All right, port 21, what we're going to put in FTP. Okay. But then also we want to do access list 101 deny ICP any going to this interface or this network, which is HQ LAN 1, which is that network. In this packet tracer, you can't mouse over, like I can't mouse over my router and see all my interfaces. You have to actually click on the interface to figure out what's what. Which takes a little bit longer, but it's fine. All right, so 192.168.1.0, and that's a okay. This is where it gets a little complicated. HQ LAN 1 is this network. All right. So that segment, it's not this whole network, it's just this network. So a \26. So we're going to put in the network, but then our wildcard mask is going to be a 26. So it's going to be and the wildcard mask is the opposite, so it'll be 0.0.0. Question mark. All right, so it'll be 0.0 because it's the opposite of 255, 255, 255, and a 26 is 63, which means 63 plus 0, we have 64 usable addresses, or 64 addresses, actually 62 usable addresses. All right, so let's do 0.0.0.63. All right, let's get rid of this. All right, and then I think, let's see, all other traffic should be permitted. So access list 101 permit Alright, so that's all of them. But now we have to assign those to the closest to wherever it's coming, wherever the closest we can get to whoever we're denying. So in our case, we want to deny, we can't deny anywhere locally, really, or that's not really local, but we're going to deny as close to the people we want to keep out as possible. All right, so if they're trying to do a request into our network, we want to block them outside on this WAN connection. So interface, and what you got to do too, you can either click on the router, but you can also look at the addressing table, HQ. That's the outside interface. And actually, what's weird, they don't have it listed. They don't really reference this interface, but this is the outside interface. It's so weird that they don't show that though. Watch. So we do show run. All right, serial. So 3.2. Oh, there we go. Finally, I can mouse over it. Serial 010. 010. It's so weird that that is not in there. I don't really need to know the IP address, but that's strange. It's not in there. All right, so we're going to assign that to serial 010 IP access group 101, and that's coming in this interface. All right, traffic coming in here, not going out of there, but coming in this interface. So in. Okay, that should be it for that one. All right, so we created that. We explicitly blocked FTP access to the enterprise web server from the internet. All right, so we blocked it right there. No ICMP traffic from the interface should be allowed to any host on HQ LAN 1. So we blocked everything going to LAN HQ LAN 1, which is this network. All right, allow all other traffic. If we do a do show run, okay, so access list 101 deny TCP any host. Go in here with the FTP traffic. Deny ICMP anybody going to this this network with this wildcard mask. All right, and then if those other two are not true, permit all other traffic. All right, so I think we're good there. All right, so ACL2 requirements. Use ACL number 111. All right. So no host on HQ LAN 1 should be able to access the branch server. So HQ LAN 1 is this network. Should be able to access the branch server. And the branch server is way down here. So we can block it. We want to block it as close to the source as possible. No host on LAN should be able to access the branch server. All other traffic should be permitted. Okay, so I'd say block it here. I wish I could mouse over that thing and see what it is. There we go. gigabit 000. So I block it. I would block it there, and that would be something all the traffic coming into that interface. All right, so let's do Control C. I'm gonna end that. All right, config T. Whoops. Config T. Config T. All right, there we go. All right, so we want to do access list 101 or 111. All right, my IP. So no host on LAN 1 should be able to access the branch server. So no IP with a destination of 192.168.2.45. Okay, deny IP any host going to that interface. Okay. And all other traffic should be permitted, so X so permit IP any. That should be good. All right, so if no host on HQ LAN 1 should be able to access the branch server. Okay. So assign it to this interface. So interface 000 access group 111N. Okay. And normally when you first do this a couple times, you're gonna think you want to block it over here because this is your destination, you know, so you're gonna block it like coming out this interface. But actually, you want to block it as close to whoever's originating the traffic, so you don't have extra traffic going across your internet or across your network. Okay. So that should be that. We're at the completion rate of 50. All right. So create a named standard ACL. Use the name VTY block. All right. The name of your ACL must match this name exactly. So make sure you do VTY_ block. Only addresses from HQ LAN 2 network. Let me close that down. Only addresses from HQ LAN 2 should be able to access the VTY line on HQ router. Okay, so okay, so only this network. Okay, I'm gonna exit that. All right. All right, we'll do our standard. So if we do a question mark, we can figure out how to do standard. All right. Wordless name. Use the name. All right. Make sure you do it VTY_ block. Okay, that looks right. And then we wanted to do, the only thing we're going to permit is, I got to look at this a couple of times. Let's see. Only addresses from LAN 2. So permit 192.168.1.64. And a \29 is going to be wildcard mask right there. So 0.0.0.7 is the same thing as 255.255.255.248, which is a 29, and that gives us 8 addresses total. So that sounds right. .0.0.7. And if you think about that, wildcard masks, if you look at that, you're like, all right, I have 8 usable addresses, 0 plus 7 more. So you kind of like know your network starts at .64, then you add 8 to it, and you're at your broadcast IP address. Right? Maybe an easier way to think about it. Your subnet mask is showing you what you don't have, you know, because it's blocking everything. But a wildcard mask is showing you what you still do have to use. All right. It took me a while to kind of like figure out how that makes sense. But just remember 0. 7 doesn't make sense, but if you remember 0 is part of that wildcard mask, that's 8. All right. So now we're going to assign this to. We don't have to assign this to an interface. We have to assign this to the VTY line. So only addresses from HQ LAN 2 network should be able to access the VTY lines. All right. So we named it. Set our configuration on there. So exit. What is it? Line VTY04 and access class. So word or access list name. And we name that VTY. And it won't find that name, you just have to type it in the same way. Block. Access class VTY block, and we're blocking it coming from everywhere coming into the router, so that'll be an in. All right, that makes sense. It looks a little funny because it's VTY lines, it's not an interface, but it's not like a like a gigabit or fast Ethernet interface like that. You're the VTY lines themselves. All right, so I think we're good there. Only addresses from this should be able to access that. All right, so ACL4. The new your ACL must match this name exactly. Create a named standard ACL. We already did that. Create a named extended ACL named branch _2_HQ. The name of your ACL must match this name exactly. No host on either of the branch LANs should be allowed to access HQ LAN 1. All right, so we got to figure this out. All right, so no host on either of these branches should be allowed to access HQ LAN 1 up there. Use one access list statement for each of the branch LANs. All other traffic should be allowed. All right. So if we're blocking these, we don't want to block them as close to where they're originating from as we can. So they're actually, a lot of times you'll think, okay, coming out, but we're blocking everything coming from over here. So block it as close as possible. We can block it going out this interface for both of them. All right. And that'll be an out too. Everything coming out of there. So let's go to branch. All right, so IP access list extended. The name is branch to HQ. All right. And then we're coming from, so we're going to deny all the hosts on 2.0 and all the hosts on 2.32. See if I can do this. Non-IP from 2.168.2.0, and it is a wildcard mask of, well, subnet mask CIDR 27, which is the same as 0.0.0.31, 0.0.0.31, going to 192.168.1.0 with a subnet mask or a wildcard mask 0.0.0.63. Alright, so that's going to block this top network. And if we do up arrow 192.168.2.32, right, and that wildcard mask is going to be different because it's a \28. It's going to be 0.0.0.15. Okay, and then going to the same network over here. Okay, so I think I got that right. Alright, so let's exit out of that. And our interface we're going to be going out of is this interface. 0011. 011, and IP access group branch to HQ out. Oh, you know what? I missed one thing. Let's see. All other traffic. Let's go back. Let's go exit. I wonder if it'll let me do that. Deny, deny. And see, that's still the last line I'm going to put in for this command. So let's see. So we want to do permit IP any source to any destination. That should work. Let's see, my completion rate went up, so I'm thinking that's right. Exit. All right, interface 0011, and it's going to be out, and it was access. Oh, IP access group. Branch _to _HQ out. Yep, that's it. All right. So that's it. That's 100%. Now we got to answer these questions. Now the thing is, for this you got to submit your .pka file completed. You have to submit this right here. All right. Make sure that has your name on it. If you have any errors in there, just send me what you got, and then you have to answer these questions. Now, get this back to where it was. All right, there. Nope. This have a hard time getting this back where it was. All right, there we go. All right, so perform the following connectivity tests between devices in topology. Note whether or not they are successful. Use the show IP access list command to verify access ACL operation. Use the clear access list counters command to reset the match counters. All right, send a ping request from branch PC. Which branch PC is right here. Send a ping request from branch PC to the enterprise web server. Enterprise, and remember, external web server, enterprise web server. So ping 182.168.1.70. And has to do all right, so the first request times out, that's fine. All right, we got requests back from it, so that was good. Let's see. Is it successful? Explain it. Well, if it's successful, it's successful. All right, which ACL statement permitted or denied the ping between these two devices? List the access name, list name or number, the router on which it was applied, and the specific line that the traffic matched. All right, so let it go here. So let's see. No host only one to be able to access. All right. So branch PC. All right, so the ACL4, it blocked, let's see, the host on either of those branch LANs should not, no host on either of the branch LANs should be able to access LAN 1, but then use one all other traffic should be allowed. So it should be that ACL4. All right, what does it say? So that should be the branch to HQ. All right. Attempt to ping from PC1 to HQ LAN 1. PC1 to HQ. Wait, what? All right. Attempt to ping from PC1 to HQ to HQ. Attempt to ping. Oh, attempt to ping from PC1 on the HQ LAN 1 to the branch server. All right, that makes more sense. And 2.168.2.45. All right, it's definitely blocking that because you're getting destination host unreachable. All right, no host of either branch LANs. All right, not that one. Not that one. No host on HQ LAN 1 should be able to access the branch server. All right, so it should be that ACL is blocking all that traffic. And does it ask? Let's see. All right, was it successful? No. Which ACL statement permitted or denied the ping between these two devices? That ACL I just showed you guys. Which is ACL number 111. All right. Open a web browser on the external server. All right, web browser there. And attempt to bring up the web page stored on the enterprise web server. So it'd be 192.168.1.70. All right, it came up. Is it successful? Yes. Which ACL statement permitted or denied the payment? What? What? I don't understand what that means. Attempt to ping from PC1 to HQ LAN 1 to the branch server. Successful. Explain which statement permitted or denied the ping between these two devices. Okay, I did that. Went with the server. All right, this just must be a dupe. That was a little mess up there. All right, which ACL statement allowed this to happen? That would probably be what they're talking about. All right, it's where is it? Explicitly block FTP access to the enterprise web server from the internet. No ICMP traffic from the internet should be allowed at HQ LAN 1, but allow all their traffic. Actually, ACL 1, and then what is it? .101 permit IP any. All right. Test connections to an internal server from the internet. From the command line on the internet user PC. Attempt to make an FTP connection to the branch server. All right. TP 92.168.2.45. All right. I'm not going to log in, but it did let me connect. All right. Is the FTP connection successful? If we get the password, yes. All right. Which access list should be modified to prevent users from the internet to make FTP connections to the branch server? All right. We could do ACL1. Let's see. We could modify this one right here. Explicitly block FTP access to the enterprise web server, and then we could add the branch server information. Okay, so it'd be let's see what I do. I think I'll put it on this one. You could pretty much copy that and change deny TCP any host 192.168.2.45 equal to FTP. That would fix that. All right. And that's coming in HQ. Let's see. And 101 was, I believe it was to this interface. So yeah, that would work. You'd block it right there, close to the internet as possible on your edge router, and it was connected to right there to that 10. Yeah, that's gigabit. Where's my serial connections? There's 101. So serial 00010. You'd put it right there. All right, and that's it. So pretty much that statement would be the same. You would just change the destination host to 192.168.2.45. It would still be FTP because they're asking for FTP to the branch server, and that would be the statement. And it would be access list 101. All right, that's it. And this video went a little long, but yeah, this was kind of tough. All right, but everybody, thanks for watching, and good luck getting this done.